Hey everybody, I am showing up. Just a random thing that a bit on my mind. You guys, it is raining here in my little town. It's been raining off and on all day. And I don't know if you guys were athletes. Any of you guys were athletes. I was an athlete for a long time. Running was my gig. I love running. I was in gymnastics, you know, very athletic. And now that I'm older, when it raised that knee, my knee, because you know what? I'm just saying, I used to run. I used to run till I couldn't run no more. Because like when you're a child of trauma and you're a child of you never feel safe, the running is your safety. So I ran a lot. So now I'm paying for it because I don't know if it's the shift or what's going on because literally it started from the top down to my shoulders, down to my hips, then now it's in my knees, and it's this shift. It's just, I feel like I'm falling apart. I really do. I know I don't look like I'm falling apart, but y'all, I feel like I'm falling apart because here now it went from the right knee, now it's on the left knee, and I just like, you guys, we are like literally changing so fast that it's showing up in our bodies, it's showing up in our attitudes, it's showing up in how we feel about our lives. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what do we really want? Because I think this change is, that stillness that we have like this stillness, and in this stillness it's just like this eeriness behind it. It's not the fact that it's quiet, it's that it's eerie behind the quiet. And then I don't know, I've been talking to some of my tribe, and it's just like joy random joy, and then the next thing you know, you have random anger. It's like all kinds of emotions that are running through your body. And you know what I think it is? I'm just telling y'all. I think it's frequency. I think it's frequency. I think that we're in a huge frequency war. And our battle is literally, we think our battle are planes and missiles. No, our battle is social media. Our battle is the frequencies that are running through our minds to keep us dormant, to keep us from thinking, to keep us from um, 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 thinking that we need to go into our bodies. We need to feel our bodies. They're taking up our mind space that we can't even get off the hook to go in our bodies. And so it's kind of interesting because I'm in my birthday month. Hey, 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 y'all know we Scorpios, we love our birthday months. We absolutely love our birthday months. Hi Snow, how are you? So good to see you. And so I'm in my birthday month, and I'm just like, I love my birthday month. I really do. But I don't know. Scorpios are extremely connected to their feelings. They're very extremely connected to other people. And so in this shift, we're literally, I think we are all feeling it. But me as a Scorpio, I have been just like up and down, up and down, up and down. And I have been tested with patience more than any time in my life. Thank you. I just it's uncanny. And what makes it uncanny, because I feel like I'm in a ping pong game with frequency. And, we got all this stuff coming at us. And I'm speaking for real because this is the for real for me. And the thing is that I always told you guys that when I come on, I'm gonna be as real as I can be. I'm gonna be authentic. Um, I'm gonna be in my truth. But it's some crazy stuff. It's some crazy stuff, and I've been wanting to tell you guys this intel. I did talk about it on a TikTok, but I have a gentleman right now that is stalking me, and it's eerie, you guys. It's very eerie, and it's been going on for about a year. I've called the police. I have and all they tell me, I told the popo, and they just told me as long as he didn't touch me or he didn't threaten me or whatever, I'm you know they can't do anything. But this is crazy. This is our society right now. And so if you're female, be very vigilant. If you're female that's dating, be extremely hyper vigilant, because we're dealing with unknown frequencies. And thank you for the birthday too. Unknown frequencies, and in these unknown frequencies, we don't know how people are going to be tripping out, because now is attack of the brain. And what you think about it, we got Oni's fans. They said, I think it's 75% of women that are on OnlyFans are between the ages of 18 and 25. Guess 65% of their viewers, 65% of their viewers are married middle-aged men. So thinking about that, you got it. And I want to talk about desire, because desire is a very, very, very emotional thing. Emotion, feeling. Now desire, when you're in passion with someone and you got this thing with them, that's a beautiful experience. But when you have desire, that you desire something that you cannot have, and that's what I'm saying, what OnlyFans is doing to these people. You're looking upon something that you not in a million years you will ever have an opportunity. Not in a gazillion years. That's like trying to play the lottery with no money. And then you're fantasizing and you're having this desire. And I don't know, I'm a Scorpio. And if I get sprung on a man, it's hard for me to like struggle. I literally have to that's why I did my noni fast. That's why I had to do a noni fast. And that last one took me like freaking 3 years of a noni fast. So just imagine that in a man. See, women have a greater opportunity. You can walk down the street and somebody will hit on you. There's always somebody hitting on a woman. But think about these men, and have you ever just sat and just watched people? I love to do that. I love to sit and watch people, because you can tell so much about a way a person is walking. I can tell by the way a person is walking if they're sexually active or not. If they're getting a little bit, if they're getting a lot of bit. Uh-oh, I better be okay. Q&A. I don't want to try it. But anywho, do you get what I'm saying? So think about it like that. So then you got these people with pent up emotions, and you give them a little bit of attention. Just a little bit of attention, because you're just being a kind human being. And the next thing you know, you got a stalker. The next thing you know, you got someone that is peeping around your auric field. And one thing we have to be careful, you guys. We are literally, the walls are so thin right now, you guys. The walls are so thin, and we're in process. We're in process, and that's why women are just closing down. They're closing down because they're processing. They're processing. Because it ain't about your money. It's not about your money. We don't want your money. Your money don't bring value. A man's currency, what he does not understand, a man's currency is connection and words with value. Exactly. Please don't assume. I am not assuming. I'm not assuming. You came into the middle of the conversation. We were talking about statistics on OnlyFans. I am talking about a situational that I have with a stalker. This is not a mass, every man is this way. We're talking about illustrations of passion. We're talking about illustrations of desire. Desire doesn't have, you know, it's man or woman. It doesn't care. But desire without satisfaction, without getting your needs met, staring at a screen, watching women that, and that's what I was talking about, that you will never have. This wasn't an indictment on a man. And this is the thing. This is why this subject is so taboo, because I am speaking from my own personal experience, and I'm speaking from my own scope. You get what I'm saying? And what I was dealing with, and the reason I'm telling you guys, I'm making this public records, because like, it's creepy when you got somebody, stalking you. That's creepy. And so I'm just saying to my fellow sisters, and I'm only going my sisters in the spiritual realm, all of us, to be careful, because I know the statistics for females. This is not against you as a divine masculine. No, it's not against you. I'm not just not, and some women do suck. But if you ask me where the sucking came from, it started a long time ago. Women became. Look at the statistics. Look at the what I'm saying, P. Diddy's, and, you know, um, our yellow man, and things that are going on. Like the statistics. I actually did a conference a few years ago, and I asked, it was probably like 150 women there, and I asked, give me a raise of hands if you're a woman and you've been raped in your lifetime. It would have blown you away. How many women? How many women rose their hand? So I'm not coming against you. I'm speaking about a subject of what I'm going through and how egregious I feel that it is. Because a woman should never feel unsafe when she's going outside. A woman should never feel unsafe when she's entering into her home. A woman should not even have to feel like she has to be in her masculine energy because she has a creeper. And so when you got a creeper, because I got some amazing male friends. I have amazing male friends. This is not a blatant statement, but you came in the middle, sir. So I'm going to give you a break. And it's cool. It's cool. But what I'm just saying is that not even what I was talking about. This is all encompassed with frequency. Like our minds are being manipulated by frequency. And some frequencies are amazing. But now that we're in this war of frequency, we have to decipher certain frequencies. And that's why you need to be in your body. Because in your body is where your instincts lie. And your body will give you confirmation of what is going on in the head. Because you will feel that. Your head will like deceive you. It will deceive you all the time. You have to go on your intuition because the frequency is tacking what we see, how we see, how we view, how we think. Because many of us out there have been simulated for thousands of years. So when we start realizing that this is by design, it's just like I just came out and just kept it real for what my experience and what I'm going through. And it shouldn't be this way. I think everybody should have sovereignty and everybody should be feel safe. And so what is going on when you have, and just a mere fact, I'm going to talk about OnlyFans, you know, it amazes me because I've coached many women that have been on these sites, and they don't respect men because they see men in their weakest point. You interview a stripper, she's going to tell you how she feels about men. She will sit in a room with men because she's saying when she looks upon a man, he has lost his masculinity because just by a twerk, he will give all his power away. What happened to Goliath? Samson and Goliath. Is that Samson and Goliath? What happened to him? He wooed her through her vagina. She wooed him, and he was so deep in passion, she cut him bald, took his power. That's what I'm saying. So on both sides, it's dangerous. But why is that anger? That anger is being released by women because they've been sexualized. When you're sexualized over and over again, you're molested by your father, or you're molested here, or you go on the street, and guys are molested too. That happens to guys. Guys get raped too. What I am speaking is just in a whole. Those things affect how people move in the world. And so remember, like early in my channel, we were talking about feelings. We were talking about your feelings. How are you feeling? Because you want to give your feelings check. You want to check where your feelings are. And sometimes when you're feeling and you're in deep feeling, so deep that it's painful, you want to know where that pain is coming from. You want to be able to understand, identify where that pain is coming from, because that's when you will be free. That's when you're going to have this like intuition. You're going to have this intuition what's inside of you, because it's really hard when you see men and women in pain, because they're all in pain. When they're sexualizing their pain, and when they're showing all their goods, they're in pain. They just don't know how to get a breakthrough and how can I say it, move through it. And so they play it out. They really do play it out. And it's so crazy to me because I know sometimes when I'm coaching, there'll be a time where I'll look in a client's eyes and I will see the child that was injured. I can see the child that is crying out. And even though I see them and I see the child that is crying out, I cannot intervene because I'm only a conduit to their healing. I can only be a compass to guide them into understanding themselves. Thank you. Thank you for getting my point. I appreciate it. So when you start looking at the injury and the pain and you got all these negative frequencies running through you, giving you ideas, you're already struggling with the internal conflict that you're having with yourself from the thing that happened when you were a kid, or the thing that happened you when you were in college, or the thing that happened when you ran away from home. You know, you it happens to you and the first thing you think is think that it's your fault. Then you internalize that and you begin to battle with yourself. You begin to fight with the pain. Then it begins to have its own story because now you have fed it. You have fed the pain, and now the pain is taking its own shape. What was that Gremlins? You remember the Gremlins? The Gremlins. What was it? The Gremlins. They were these little bears, right? And then the moment you started feeding it, it became this crazy thing, right? That's what happens when you're in pain and you begin to feed it. And you don't want to feed your pain. You want to heal your pain. You want to transmute your pain. And that's what you're doing. You're melting away the pain. When you stay in that pain and you let it take you over, then you become the pain. And when you become that pain, you begin to make a story to justify the why you are the mess that we are. You see what I'm saying? Well, to be honest with you, the telltale signs of a woman that has had a narcissistic parent, they become compulsive liars. Because when you're being gaslighted all the time, you don't know if you're going to have a good day, you don't know if you're going to have a bad day, you're in flight because you feel unsafe. And so what you do is not only do you lie to yourself because you have to build a mechanism to protect yourself. So what you do is you create a fantasy around yourself. And so when you have somebody creating a fantasy around themselves, they don't know how to tell the truth. The truth can slap them in the face and they will deny it. They will actually not only deny it, they will get mad at you for exposing the truth. So when you're dealing with someone that is been corrupt within their in their youth, they play it out. And so as you start seeing people, I remember I coached this young man, and I remember we were coaching, and I was, because I feel their auric field, and I'm able to you know help them. And I remember I'm just talking to this gentleman. We have an amazing conversation. And all of a sudden he just broke and cried. And apparently something in the conversation brought him back to when he was 3 years old. He really still remembered that and just started breaking. So this is why I always say is that when you're in your body, you can't ignore the pain, because it shows up in your body in so many ways that you don't even know, like, why is my joint hurting? Why can't why do I always get sick? Why is my throat? Why do I got laryngitis all the time? Why are my tonsils always swollen? Because your voice has been taken away from you. And that's the point of energy, and that's whenever you need to talk. Instead of being able to communicate the way you need to communicate, you hold it back. You go within, and then you shrink, and then that becomes the little child. A lot of times how I help people is getting them to understand, when you go to the point of injury, that is the most strongest person. It's more stronger than you are now. And as you go to the point of injury, as you go to that pain that hurts you so deeply, and you start moving into it, you start realizing that that child carried the history that kept you safe that long. And what we do, we put them in a closet, and we don't want to even, like even certain smells will make us think about it. We're so afraid to deal with it. Like, we'll be having a good day and we'll go down the wrong street and there'd be a smell that would trigger us. So that's why I'm speaking about what I'm speaking about, because it's just so important that we understand that people are cause and effect. And that don't mean you lay down and let them walk all over you. That don't mean that you can't put separation between people. But some people you have to separate from. Some people you have to get away from. Because if you stay connected to them, that's codependency. And if you stay too long, you're an enabler. And you're actually stopping them from finding their best self. So that's what's so interesting about it. It's like we need each other to heal. We need each other. And even when you're telling a person, I got to put distance, you're involved in their healing. And so as you give them distance, you are allowing them to feel the space without you, because your space is very powerful. Your space is so healing. But if you don't bring space and you dwell with that, guess what they're going to do? They're going to sap you dry in your energy, because you are their life force. And you can't, and we can't, none of us can't be people's life force anymore. As you notice, we have to cultivate our own energy right now, because it is a lot because of these frequencies. It is a lot. We don't got time to be babysitting some grown people. And that's not being mean. That's being wise. That's cultivating the energy that lies within you so you can begin to keep it solid. Because there is going to be a time in the future that you're going to be needed, and you don't want to be depleted because you're talking to the same person over and over and over and over and over and over again for decades about the same thing, and they doing the same thing. There has to be a switch. There has to be a time. There has to be somewhere in there that you have to let go. We all got to let go sometimes. Sometimes we got to let go ourselves and surrender. Sometimes we have to let go of self and surrender. Because it's as we surrender, we can be transparent with ourselves. We won't make excuses anymore. We'll take responsibility for our own growth. That's when you start having compassion on yourself. That's when you start showing love to yourself. That's when you see yourself for who you truly are, in your imperfections. You come to a place that you just want to hug yourself because you're so proud of the change you have made in your life. You know, even the stuff that I'm going through with this gentleman, he's in pain. But I have to be careful. I have to be careful. And you guys, we're in that Venus energy, and there's relationships everywhere. You can get in a relationship. You can close your eyes and walk down the street and run into somebody. It's very easy to be in a relationship right now. But does that mean that there will be a good relationship for you? You don't know until you're living in your body. Because we kind of like negotiate ourselves into a relationship that we should not be in by our thought process, how we think, how we look at life, how we view them, what we gone through. Well, I got to be a little more nice because, you know, I went through that once and I know how it feels. So I want to feel it again, but now I want to feel it with somebody else. Do you want to do that? That's why you healed. So you don't have to do that anymore. You eject yourself out of that density. So I appreciate y'all so much. And thank you so much for coming by, saying hi, hearing my story, hearing me complain about my knee. My friend Rex is trying to get me out and about. I said, well, we can't walk a lot, and we walked a lot the other day, and my butt is paying for it. I'm paying for it because my knee is hurting. So thank you, Snow. Thank you so much for showing up. You know, thank you, Libra. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. I have so much love for you guys, and I just love what's going on with the collective. I know you guys got busy lives. I really respect that, and I'm so thankful when I do come on. Y'all try to be here for me, and I know I haven't been on a lot, but this energy is really kicking my butt, and it's a lot of integration that I'm doing, and it's right. Thank you, love. Um, and I'm just, I'm just trying to integrate, and I think we're all trying to integrate. And I just want to thank you, and I love you, and you guys have a beautiful night. And I have my merch in my bio, so please look it over and maybe buy something. I get credit for that. Okay, you have a good night. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.